My name's Jess. I live in Cheltenham in the UK. When I was 17, I walked away from a loving Christian family and just decided to go off and do my own thing. I knew everything that I was supposed to be doing and that God had a plan for my life, but I just didn't want to do it. I ended up falling for a guy, moving out, moving in with him, and he ended up being really abusive. He tried to kill me several times. While I was gone, I always knew that God was still there and that God existed. I would tell people that we weren't on speaking terms, which is rubbish because he was speaking and I wasn't. I was just not in a good place and I didn't think I could be good enough. I started to go home to my parents' house on Sundays and we would watch God TV. Joyce Meyer was on and she was talking about, oh, you're in the right place at the right time. And I kind of sat there like, yeah, right. And then Joseph Prince came on and he said the same thing. And he quoted the Bible verse that I'd read that morning. And I thought, okay, this is getting weird now. I realized I needed to come home. I was depressed. I was facing traumatic stress disorders from stuff that had happened. I comfort-ate a lot because of the guilt of everything I'd gone through and I put the weight on, and I got diagnosed with a genetic condition that meant that my joints had issues basically. So my mobility started to decline quite rapidly. I had a bad dislocation that actually broke bone in my leg. I'd had operations to try and correct that so that I could walk again, but my mobility declined so much that I ended up in a wheelchair. I sat there in the chair and would think I deserved what was happening to me because of all of the bad choices I'd made. I felt like this was justice. One morning I went to church and there was a guy teaching and he was talking about Bartimaeus the blind getting up and throwing his cloak aside, and that really resonated with me that morning. That was like a symbol of his disability and he just threw it away and ran to Jesus. When they asked if anyone wanted to come up for prayer, I kind of thought, do you know what, I can walk a few steps, so I'll get out of the wheelchair and I'll try. And I ended up walking to the front, standing for prayer for about 15 minutes, thinking I haven't fallen over, oh my gosh. And I ended up walking out of the building, pushing the wheelchair. It's been about 1.5 years since I've used the wheelchair now. I can walk around the supermarket without having to stop, and it's amazing. Life is good now. God TV is on in my house all the time. I've been struggling with loneliness when I'm at home during the week, and I sat in front of my TV. The moment I turned it on, there was this really odd moment where Fergus was interviewing Jess Koulianos, and Fergus said to her, what would you say to all of the other Jesses out there?
Would you take time to minister to the other Jesses that are out there?
My ears pricked up and I was thinking, what? They're talking to me.
You're not alone in this. Even if you don't have a husband or parents or counselors or anything like that that can help you, that doesn't matter, that's all great. But the thing that truly set me free and changed me was Jesus.
It just really hit me that they were talking out of the TV right to me. It was just really reassuring. God TV really gives an opportunity for God to be able to speak to people in their living rooms. It's important because people watch so much television that just flicking through the channels, someone can find Jesus because it's there and it's available. There's something really special about being a partner with God TV because you're part of people that are getting saved in countries you've never even been to. You're part of that. It's not because I'm giving them money, it's because it's making a difference to someone. Since I got saved through Christian media, I think it makes sense to then support that going forward and have that as part of my mission field. What better thing could you spend your money on? Like, give something to God TV and send the message to someone that hasn't heard it, or go and buy a cup of coffee, or I know which one I'd rather pick.
Hi, my name is Trevor. It's my wife Kaye. We both live in Swindon in the UK. When we got married, we did meditation in mornings and evenings to try and find true peace and happiness.
There was a peace, but not a deep peace. In 1997, I suffered minor strokes. It left me disabled and I had a lot of complications.
Some of the complications were the muscles weren't strong enough to hold the joints in. So I had to learn how to traction Kaye laying on the bed and pull out her head and ease the neck. Kneecaps would slide round to the sides and I had to put those back in again.
Yeah.
A leg would come out of the hip, so we had to lay on the side on the floor and lift both legs, clonk, till it went back in again. Now the vertebrae, they weren't strong, the muscles weren't strong to support it, so the impact, it caused a lot of pain, particularly at the neck and around the hips.
I was disabled and felt helpless. helpless. I couldn't do anything.
For disability allowance, an NHS doctor came out and assessed Kaye. He assessed Kaye as being disabled for life, and we didn't have to go for any more reassessments after that. I took an early retirement to look after Kaye. We had cable TV put in, and then we came across God TV. Pastor Rodney Howard Brown came on, and he gave the sinner's prayer. The anointing was so strong, and the sense of the Lord in this living room right here was so strong that Kaye and I just held hands and we said the sinner's prayer.
Yeah. After that, I felt such a deep peace inside of me. A peace I was searching for and never could find it anywhere. We
were changed the next day.
Yeah.
Got up. We were different people.
Yeah.
We started watching God TV and in particular Andrew Wommack. And that tremendously helped us in our walk with the Lord and in getting a basic understanding of the Bible. The following year, we saw that from Andrew's website that he was coming to London. And we were told by the Lord to go. Andrew laid his hands on Kaye's head and prayed. So after the service, there was some improvement in as much that Kaye was able to get back to the car without the wheelchair.
I pushed my own wheelchair to the car.
But the real recovery came the next day or so.
I felt strength in my whole body. My ankles felt strong, and then I got up and I started to walk. I walked up and down the stairs, and I felt, all the strength in my body. It's a lovely feeling to get back on your feet, so strong, and everything came back normal.
God TV is life-changing. It's changing people's lives right around the world. We know how we, through the power of God TV and broadcasting, we were able to get born again. And so it's really worthwhile for everybody to support God TV in order to spread the gospel into all the nations.
I got saved with God TV, and it's changed my life.
25 years ago, what started as a dream grew into a broadcast TV channel that carries the gospel from Europe to the nations. A channel that brings the love of Christ into each home, transforming hearts and minds and igniting revival around the world. It is by His hand that God TV is shaping culture through media and changing lives, and is by your hands that we've found community and support in the journey. Our dream is alive because of the faithfulness of God and because of you, our faithful partners that have seen us through the years. Join us as we look back and celebrate 25 years of God TV. Then stand with us as we look to the future and dream for the next 25. Give today to God TV.